One name I don't think we mentioned at half-time even would be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was almost non-existent in the game. I asked some of the producers here as we were watching, when's the last time the commentator, Peter Drury or Andy Townsend, mentioned his name? Were you concerned about today?
Look, it's never about one player, Adam. You know, I don't know whether if you're looking for headlines. I saw enough to suggest that Arsenal, they've improved in the amount. Look, they had 65, 70% possession. This is about Arsenal losing a game that they tried to win and they were naive. It's a totally different, you know, you can talk about crosses, you can talk about how you create them. I feel that Arteta will find a way to do that. But you also need to have that ingredients in the team. You know, if you look at the goal that Son has scored there, he could have got a protractor out to actually identify the angles that he needs. When you look at it in close detail there, there's so much time and space that cannot be right. As well as they did Spurs, where they soaked up the pressure, the first ball put forward, and then the finish, brilliant. But Arsenal can obviously do a lot better there. So there's a lot for Arsenal. That is not just down to Aubameyang. Yes, we needed to improve the chances Arsenal creating. I think they're 20th or sharing that role. They're not scoring enough goals, just 10 goals from the start of the season. You know, it's all there, but they're going to have to do it collectively. And I don't really feel that we have to dig out one individual. It's about the team now coming together, creating the opportunities, staying in games long enough to win them with Aubameyang. I looked at the Tottenham team today. I hardly saw their fullbacks go forward. Reguilon and Aurier on the right. So why couldn't Arsenal do that? Why couldn't Arsenal win from that? So, and then maybe Aubameyang would have more chances from a really difficult, tough performance, as Chelsea did, by the way. Chelsea didn't get caught up in this chess match with Mourinho. They sat tall and they stayed back, became like a chess match, but they came away with a point. Arsenal didn't today.
Let me explain why I'm bringing up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's name. Because the whole of last season, we've had multiple Arsenal legends join us. People that you would know. Tony Adams, most recently, Sol Campbell. Every single one of them said, before Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang signed his contract, that he has to put pen to paper. It has to be done. If Arsenal want to be successful, they have to keep on to their captain. They have to keep hold of him at the club. And now that's done, there hasn't been anything else extra from him. And I'm not going to get into a discussion about Ozil, but during Project Restart, Ozil was not involved there. They're saying now if Ozil was playing that he could create chances. But Aubameyang was able to create chances in the FA Cup without Ozil being present. That's why I'm questioning, why is there a drop in form? I mean, confidence is crucial to a striker, Martin, and he just looks bereft of it.
Yes, but I don't feel that he's getting the sort of chances that he thrives on. I think we waited until the 85th minute. Great defending, by the way, from Alderweireld at the end, where he shows him the line. He makes a tackle with his left foot. And it was the first time that we really got Aubameyang in that position where he can use his pace and finish. So, you know, I'm not here to attack any one individual player. I think it's about the collective, about the team. But yes, he's got to start scoring goals. Yes, he needs to do something inspirational, but he needs help from everybody else around him. And he needs to retain his confidence. And at the moment, the confidence is ebbing away from the group. But it's not just Aubameyang, but it's about the manager. I don't think it suits all these crosses being winged into the box. It's definitely not suiting Aubameyang. He wants the ball to feet where he can do damage.
Gary? I think the question here is really what comes first. Is it about individuals performing and the team improve? Or is it about getting the team shape and function and methods in place which allow the individuals to perform? Now, some people might say it's a combination of the two, but I'm with Martin here, to be honest with you. You know, you've got to start looking at the shape of Arsenal, what they're trying to do. And I'm sure I read a quote from Arteta saying that, you know, our game is, in order to score goals, we're going to get lots of crosses into the area. Well, you know, based on the figures you gave us a little while ago, Adam, you know, the crosses today, the crosses in their previous game, you know, it hasn't produced goals. So I think that definitely does have to be looked at. I think it's really easy to bash a team when they're having a bad time. And if anybody would like to bash the Arsenal, I'm sure it's a former Spurs player. But I would prefer personally to look more at the qualities, and I'm sure we will, of this Spurs team. And when I use the word team, it truly is a team. You know, there's not a single player in this Spurs side at the moment that is playing below what they did last year. In fact, they're all playing above, in my opinion, what they did last year. Some question marks about Lloris last season. Lloris has been exceptional in goal. You know, what about the save he made from that little glancing Lacazette header, for example? Martin's just mentioned about the Spurs fullbacks, and Aurier was at the club last season, and he was bombing forward and not getting back and giving away penalties and getting himself sent off. You know, he's a disciplined player this season. And maybe it's because, you know, Mourinho signed Matt Doherty and suddenly there's some competition there. I don't know. But Mourinho is managing this group of Spurs players, I would have to say, brilliantly.
9 goals conceded.
Adam, just to come back to you there, I would say that Arsenal have lost this game today, not because Aubameyang has missed lots of chances. It's because they weren't tough enough in the transition, they weren't well organised enough. They were naive and they lost the game because of it. They might well have won it with Aubameyang, who would have felt more inspired, with them at 0-0. But it's quite difficult for him as well when he realises that he can't necessarily depend on people behind him. So it's a two-way show in any team. Aubameyang needs more, give us more to the team. But I think the team at the moment is a little bit too easy to beat. And Tottenham showed that today. And everything that Tottenham did, it's only a case of Arsenal looking at what Tottenham did and trying to put that into their game. But is that the mentality of the manager? Because we know what Mourinho wants to do. He wants to play the game in a certain way. Some people don't like it. Some people feel it just strangles the game. There's no real football played. It's not enjoyable. But when you go into it and you look at the detail, every single one of those players is doing the ugly things well. And Højbjerg more than anybody else.
I know you said you don't want to dig anybody out. I'm not asking you to, but I firmly believe that if there is a problem, you have to address it head on. You have to analyse all the facts. You have to look at the bigger picture. So if it's not the players, and you're talking about the mentality of the manager, there's Arteta need to take a hard look at himself and how he's approaching games.
Of course. And we've talked about before today, it was only 46 games as a manager. 46 games is a huge football club. I know if it was myself, I'd be making sure that I was examining what I was doing, but you'd have a core belief of how you feel the game should be played. And that's where I'm now concerned. I said to you at the start of the programme that by this time, Arsene Wenger had a clear view. He went the first 10 months with a back five. Right, guys, this is the way we want to play. Now we're ready now for Arteta. This is how we're going to play. The back four, I want 2 sitting. That's great. Just find the personnel to put into this system. Is 1 playing off the front? Or will next week we go back to a 5 and will it change again? These are the uncertainties that I'd like to take away. Create the pitches the same. It's simple game football, as Arsene Wenger taught me. Lead your life in a simple way. Take that into your games and go and be free in your mind and play. And that's all they need to do. But they need to know their roles and responsibilities. And the fullbacks, when they're both flying forward today, simply don't know their roles because one of them needs to sit when it's a back four.
So you think role definitions need to be clarified better, team discipline needs to be rectified, and then perhaps Arsenal can be more of a fighting force? Is that what it comes down to?
And they can stay in the game long enough to win a game. Today, because they didn't scrap, they were a bit naive. They're all little things that amount to the bigger picture. The Spurs dressing room now, they can tell you now they're patting each other on the back. They had to graft today because Arsenal tested them. But Arsenal were never really going to get back into this game. And that's where Arteta needs to go back to the drawing board.